It is like for me it's 6:48 a.m. So I'm gonna try to be even though calm, gonna try to be awake and wake myself up too. Um, whether you're on this live stream live or you're joining after the fact, let me know in the comments, what do you usually do as a part of your morning routine? Let's talk about morning rituals or morning routine. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you do for your morning routine? There isn't a lot of light available in this room, but for example, uh, my routine used to look like waking up every single morning and then getting myself ready, toiletries wise, brushing my teeth, washing my face, uh, probably getting dressed for the day. And then somewhere in between when I wake up and when I eat breakfast, I would do my mindfulness practice. So early, before my mind has really gotten started with all the hustle and bustle for the day, answering emails or checking text messages, I would meditate. So it would probably go like this: my morning, wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed, meditate, then eat breakfast and go throughout the rest of my day. There's a specific reason why I would do it in that order, mostly because when you eat, your body starts to process the food, and then obviously your body is no longer fasting from the night before. And when you're in a state of fast, your body has gone through a process of regenerating its cells, working harder to recollect your memories from the previous day during your dreams when you sleep. And also, I have dreams every single night. And when you wake up and then you eat breakfast or you like eat something, you're breaking that process that your body's going through to regenerate itself. So, like, right before eating breakfast is a really good way to, I mean, a really good time to meditate because your body is cleansed. It's like your body just went through like a detox pretty much. Um, and that's my main morning routine is that I meditate in the morning. So comment down below what do you do in your morning routine that you have to do every single morning. And I actually used to meditate every morning for 20 minutes, and I haven't been doing that every single day in months now. However, I actually did it this morning before I hopped on this live stream. I meditated for 30 minutes. So, yes, uh, like I said, whether you're on this live after the fact, after I finish the live and you're going back and watching the replay, or you're here right now, what is something in your morning routine that you do? Mm. So, this is day two of a series. I don't know what the series is called, but I'm going to be going live every single day um, throughout the month of February for or I asked you all on my on this YouTube page, and then also my Holistic Flow page that I mostly talk about my lock journey. I asked you all, what do you want to see from these live streams? Oh, excuse me. Uh, I asked you, what do you want to see from these live streams? I asked you, do you want to see yoga classes? Do you want to see meditation classes? Or do you want to see uh, I think I said like communication or talks, mindfulness talks. And you all said that you want to see mindfulness talks the most. So here I am doing mindfulness talks, and I'll be doing that throughout the whole month, every single day, just to get a feel for what you really want to see on this channel and what really attracts you to watch, me on this channel. And then also, if you're enjoying this live stream so far, please give it a thumbs up because it definitely helps the going on of like it helps YouTube push out my videos, honestly. So let me know if you can hear me well in the chat and type it in the chat when you get in. So today's topic of the live stream is survival versus safety. Hmm. And when I think of that survival versus safety, it's like fight or flight versus it's like living versus surviving, right? Or surviving versus thriving. You want to thrive, or do you want to just survive? Do you want to just get by? And surviving versus thriving is something that I struggle with a lot, and I still struggle with to this day to feel like I can, or actually feel like I can rest and then have my rest be, enough for me to go about my days and then feel like I can schedule my days around resting and make that a priority. And also taking a break when I feel stressed, when I feel anxious, and also to listening to my gut when it tells me, or my body when it tells me you're tired. Maybe I'm not getting enough sleep, or my body tells me you're working too hard. And why do we work too hard even when our body's giving us signs like we're yawning, like I just yawned a couple minutes ago, or when you were when you are trying to get to sleep, but you're not able to get in a good night's sleep because you're really tired. Signs that your body shows you that you are pushing through something that you shouldn't push through. I think that's a sign. Hello. Um, and also comment down below what's something in your morning routine that you like to do in the morning and you usually do every day. I mentioned earlier that mine was meditating. So for me personally, this is something that I still struggle with, even though I'm a yoga teacher, even though I'm a meditation teacher. Trying to sleep in is a great morning routine, honestly. I should try to sleep in more often. Well, actually, I do usually sleep in, and if I don't have anything to do in the morning, I would sleep in. Um, so today's topic is survival versus safety. So if you're here, comment in the comments. What does it mean? What comes up for you when you think of survival versus safety? What comes up for you? So for me, survival versus safety, um, an example when I'm like in survival mode is for example, when I'm getting signs like from other people, like maybe God speaks through other people to me, saying that, you don't sit still, or are you filling up your schedule with too many activities or too many things to do? And um I also start to feel it in my body, and I'm trying to push through something that I don't need to push through. And I think the reason for that is because I feel like survival, let's talk about the word survival. Um, you can kind of be on autopilot. And then also I feel like it's a way that the reason that we're on survival mode is because we have a feeling of lack. We feel like we're not going to get to the goal or get to the destination. Um, and then we also feel like we have to continue to work harder than what's needed to. And I often struggle with working smarter or working harder and not smarter. Um, And then, yeah, so that's survival to me. To me, it's like working harder for something that you could work smarter or more efficient on. And maybe you feel like you're on autopilot, just going throughout your day and on autopilot. And then safety to me is like the opposite of survival. Um, by the way, if you want to comment down below, what is something in your morning routine that you do to allow yourself to be more mindful? Okay, so let's talk about safety. Safety is where do you feel safe? So comment down below if you're here. Where do you feel safe? Or if you're watching on the replay, places like physical places that make me feel safe are, for example, my own room. Um, and when I used to have a car, it was my own car. So sometimes I wouldn't feel safe talking on the phone or having like personal conversations with my friends um, in public, you know, like in the mall where people can hear my conversation. Because a lot of the times the conversations that I have on the phone with my friends, they're more they're more personal, they're more private and intimate. So naturally, I wouldn't just be in public having certain conversations on the phone. So I used to go in my car um, when I had a car, and that used to be my safe space to have conversations. Even to do things like show emotions, like cry. I would go in my car if I was out in public and I just needed a space to emotionally express myself without people judging me or without people hovering over me or smothering me about being emotional. And another safe place, for example, is the shower. I think when I take a shower, it makes me think more deeply about things. And I often go in there, and sometimes if I feel emotional, I cry in the shower too. And I think it's interesting because, like, when the water's hitting me, I don't notice that I'm crying or any other emotion like anger or frustration. A third safe space for me is also the gym because I can work out and breathe and working out to me feels like meditation. So think about what are some places for you that feel safe and basically how you feel when you're in a place of safety is the opposite of how you should feel when you're on a survival mode. Because, oh, this is a really good example, right? You're not supposed to go, you're supposed to flow. And one of my like family friends told me that recently because I I told a story of what my life looks like right now. I just moved back to the US after living overseas for like 7 months. And I was supposed to be living overseas on a work contract for like a year. And I broke the contract early because of some health reasons and some personal reasons. And I have all of these bills to pay from when I was overseas. And I have to basically move out of an apartment without me physically being there and all of these things. And now see where I'm going to go from here. And that is a lot. So I'll just tell this story. I was living in China for the past 7 months from June to January, mid-January. And a little bit before I left, I got sick with a respiratory infection. but I had been getting sick here and there for a couple of months before I left, on and off with different stomach bugs. And I just didn't feel like I was at my optimal health there. And I'm all about my health, um, evidently, because my channel is Holistic Flow. So during the time that I got a respiratory infection, I tried to, get better, get well, go to the doctor, and get medicine. And I took some medicine for a week. And after a week, I wasn't feeling any better and I was having the same symptoms, or I felt like the symptoms were getting worse from my respiratory infection. I was having trouble breathing and it was just not healthy for me. So I ended up going to the doctor twice and even went going to the hospital because I was having breathing issues. And kind of as I was trying to recover, I was still pushing through. I took a couple days off of work because in China I was an English teacher, but I took a couple days off of work so that I could make sure I could recover if rest is what I needed for my throat. Um, However, once I realized that the rest wasn't helping, the tea, the humidifier that I had in my room for the dry air, none of it was really helping that much. So I went back to work and just tried to push through it and told myself that I would, hello, I told myself that I would just push through it and maybe it would go away. The sickness would go away. Lo and behold, it didn't go away. And what I wanted to push through, I had to now face that I had to just rest, but not the rest that I thought was like resting for a couple days and then going back to what I was doing, but actually resting for a long time from the environment, maybe also from the job that I had, et cetera, et cetera. There may have been other things in my environment that were making me be in survival mode because I remember days when I was sick and then I would, walk home because I lived in a city. And then I would be walking home and I felt like, you know, have you ever felt like this before, by the way? I would feel like, I'm walking and I'm physically, my body's walking, but like my brain is somewhere else. Like your body's there, but you're out of your body because your brain is not in your body or your consciousness is not in your body. I was somewhere else. But I think that was um, a huge sign that I was in survival mode there because I was just trying to make it to, I don't know, make it to the next stop and push through my sickness because I was like, things have to get done. Work has to get done. Money has to be made. So I'm gonna make it. And no sickness can stop me. But what I didn't realize was that my body was giving me clear signs consistently that whatever I was doing, it wasn't working. And I was surviving and I wasn't thriving. And also wasn't feeling safe where I was. Um, so then when I got a call that a family member an immediate family member passed away at home, then in the US, I came back to the US. Then I've been here ever since. So that's been like 2 weeks ago now. Um, so as I was on the phone with a friend explaining this, a family friend, she said this to me. She said, you know, as humans, we're supposed to grow. I'm sorry, no, she said, as humans, we're supposed to flow. We're not supposed to go. I'll say that again. We're supposed to flow. We're not supposed to go. Hello, hi. So I was like, I need to get that tatted because when you flow, it's like you're in the safety mode because you feel safe and something about your inner child feels safe to express itself. And the tools that are thank you, the tools that are given to us for uh being an adult, like the adulting things, they often take us out of a position. to be in our inner child, expressing our inner child. Um, and our inner child is some a place that often feels safe, and adulting is something that often puts us in survival mode for sure. So, okay, I can add a Q&A sticker. So let's try this. Let's try doing a Q&A, and I'll ask you all a question. Um, and you can answer you can answer this question. Okay. Mm. My question is, what is your safe space? Um, okay. So let's start this Q&A. If you have an answer, then just type it in the answer box. Okay, so let me know if you can see the Q&A and what the question is. And also, if you have any other questions, what other questions do you have about this topic today, survival versus safety? Um, so yeah, and what do you feel like you're doing right now, um, that may indicate that you're in survival mode? And what else do I have in my notes? So yesterday, we talked about, let's go a little bit back to yesterday when I went live, and I also did a yoga practice if you want to look at that um, for reference. But excuse me. The theme in the topic yesterday was that our bodies remember. Our bodies remember, and I said yesterday, this was a little tidbit. Your body remembers the things that your mind wants to ignore. So, what are some things that you feel like your body remembers? And I also gave an example of the fact that, because I'm a yoga teacher, and I used to work in, I used to teach in some studios and like, some corporate, also like some corporate yoga and stuff. And I'm also a stretch therapist. And so I've heard a lot of people tell me, like, oh, my hips are tight and my lower back is hurting me, and I don't even know what's causing it. And I stretch and then it doesn't go away. And and then my shoulders. And stress can when prolonged stress is present, is called anxiety. Stress is only supposed to be in our body for like, a short moment to get us through situations. I feel like stress should be situational. And but once stress extends itself, it becomes anxiety. Um, then when that happens, prolonged stress becomes anxiety, and then, it can start to take or lie dormant in your body. For example, the joint is the biggest place that stress and anxiety can lay dormant in your body. Your hips are one of the main places. And a lot of people, I think America in general, Americans have hip tightness and lower back problems and arthritis and things. And those are for different reasons, too. Arthritis could greatly be caused by the things that you eat. And over time, we've seen that it's less about genetics and less about honestly getting old, but more about the things that we put in our body that can cause the inflammation. But also stress can cause inflammation because it's hormonal. And for example, one of the reasons people have tight hips is because of the stress in your body and your hips. If you look at the chakras, there are seven main energy centers in the body, and your root chakra, or your actually your sacral chakra, um, is located and is responsible for your hip movement. So actually, like moving your hips and dancing is one of the main ways to, um, feel better because your hips often can harbor emotions. It's like a blocked, stagnant energy in your hips. If you've been emotionally compromised, if you've been emotionally like stressed, anxious, in survival mode, you can start to feel it in your hips, especially if it's prolonged stress. And then and then your body um may not know where to put the stress. So it can go on your hips, and then it can show up as like lower back tightness, and it can also show up in like your shoulders. And I know a lot of people who sit at a desk all day and type. And it's like our body's been in one position like this. Stress can definitely show up in the body in different ways because of this survival mode. So if you're here, what is your safe space? And then another thing I have in my notes is um an exercise to combat being in survival mode, which is basically like fight or flight, which is stress or anxiety that takes you out of your ability to flow and to go with the movements and to trust. So one of the main mindfulness activities that I like to do to combat this is called tapping meditation. Excuse me, it's still in the morning, so my voice is also waking up. Mm. So for me, I do a tapping meditation where, and this is really good for anxiety because a lot of people have told me like I'm too anxious to meditate, which is never really true. However, you can do a different type of meditation than just sitting and um, paying attention to your breath. You can move your body or, have something that your hands are doing so that your mind is more occupied. And one of my favorites is tapping meditation. So, in essence, you're going to inhale and tap your thumb to your pointer finger, then exhale, switch fingers, then inhale again, switch fingers, tap this one, then exhale and switch fingers. Then you're going to alternate tapping your fingers together, each finger to the thumb like this, but you're going to do it with the rhythm of your breath so that your breath in your inner respiratory, your system is syncing with the body and also the mind because your mind is focused on the body and then your body is in sync with your breath. So let's practice together. You can close your eyes or keep your eyes open, and I'll show my hands on the screen. First, inhale, tap your thumb to your pointer finger. Exhale, tap your thumb to your middle finger. Inhale again. Tap your thumb to the ring finger. Exhale again. Tap your thumb to the pinky finger. Let's repeat. Inhale. Tap your thumb to the pointer finger. Exhale. Tap your thumb to the middle finger. Inhale again. Tap your thumb to the ring finger. Exhale again. Tap your thumb to the pinky. Let's do one more round. Inhale. Tap your thumb to the pointer finger. Exhale. Tap your thumb to the middle finger. Inhale again, tap your thumb to the ring finger. And exhale, tap your thumb to the pinky. And relax your hands. And now you can open the eyes. And that is a super simple tapping meditation you can do. And I usually do it for 5 to 10 minutes. You can do it for however long you're comfortable, honestly. Um, the recommended amount of time to meditate for in the morning before you eat breakfast is 20 minutes. So whether you start with a tapping meditation and you do this for 5 minutes, and then the rest of the time you just meditate, and then you can um, pay attention to your breath and bring awareness to the breath with your eyes closed. Both of those are really good meditations to do in the morning. So, all right. So, if you have any questions, if you're on the a replay or whatever of the live stream, then please give this a thumbs up and also comment down below. Make sure you comment down below. What is your safe space as part of the Q&A? I would love to know. And then also comment, what is a morning routine that you like to do to keep yourself out of the fight or flight mode? And let me know how you enjoy this exercise, this tapping meditation. Are you going to try it as well? And also, yeah, those are the three questions I'm going to ask. So thanks for joining me on this live stream this morning. And I'll be back tomorrow, maybe at the same time, probably at the same time, for day three out of 28 days for this month that I'll be going live every single day. All right. So have a great rest of your day. Peace and blessings to you. And peace. Yeah.